There comes a moment in life when you must walk alone, not because you have no one, but because the path you are destined to walk is one that only you can travel. It is in those moments of solitude that your strength is tested, your resilience is built, and your true self is revealed. The world will try to convince you that you need the approval of others, that you must belong to a group to find validation. But the truth is, the greatest minds, the strongest warriors, and the most unstoppable forces in history have all mastered the art of standing alone. Solitude is not a weakness, it is a weapon. A man who learns to be comfortable in his own company is a man who is truly free. When you rely on the presence of others to feel complete, you give away your power. You become dependent on their validation, their approval, their support. And what happens when they leave? What happens when they no longer believe in you? If your strength is borrowed from others, it will crumble the moment they are gone. But when you stand alone, when you learn to rely only on yourself, nothing and no one can shake you. Look at history. Look at the people who have changed the world. They were the ones who walked alone when no one understood them. They were the ones who stood firm when the world laughed at them. They were the ones who believed in themselves when no one else did. They understood that solitude was not isolation, it was preparation. While others sought comfort in the crowd, they were sharpening their minds, strengthening their will, and preparing themselves for the battles ahead. Most people fear being alone because they fear the silence. They fear being left with nothing but their own thoughts. But that silence is where growth happens. That silence is where you confront your weaknesses, your doubts, your insecurities, and overcome them. When you stand alone, you are forced to face yourself, to acknowledge your flaws, and to develop the strength to overcome them. You become self-reliant, unshakable, unstoppable. But here's the hard truth. Standing alone is not easy. It is uncomfortable. It is painful. It is lonely at times. You will doubt yourself. You will wonder if you're making the right choice. You will see others taking the easy road, surrounded by people fitting in effortlessly, while you struggle on your own. But that is the price of greatness. The weak seek comfort, the strong seek growth. The crowd will always choose the path of least resistance, but you are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out. There will be moments when you want to give in, when the weight of loneliness feels unbearable. But remember this, the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. If you give in now, if you compromise your vision just to feel accepted, you will spend your life wondering what could have been. But if you endure, if you push through the discomfort, if you embrace solitude as a tool rather than a burden, you will emerge stronger than you ever imagined. Do not fear walking alone. Fear depending on others to walk for you. Fear being so afraid of solitude that you never discover your own strength. Because the moment you master standing alone, you become unstoppable. And when you finally rise, when you finally achieve what others thought was impossible, the world will look at you in awe, not because you followed the crowd, not because you sought approval, but because you had the courage to stand alone when it mattered most. The world has a way of pulling you in, convincing you that you need to fit in, that you need to follow the crowd to be accepted, to be respected, to be successful. From the time you are young, you are taught to conform, to obey, to do what everyone else is doing because it is safer that way. You are told not to stand out too much, not to question too much, not to challenge the status quo. And so people shrink themselves. They silence their voices. They follow the well-trodden path, not because it's right for them, but because it is what everyone else is doing. But if you want to become great, if you want to build something extraordinary, if you want to live a life of meaning and purpose, then you must have the courage to break away from the crowd. You must be willing to stand alone, even when it's uncomfortable, even when people don't understand you, even when they turn against you. Because the truth is, most people are not strong enough to walk their own path. Most people are terrified of being different. They would rather be accepted for being average than be rejected for being exceptional. But you are not here to be average. You are not here to follow the path that was laid out for you by people who never dared to chase their own dreams. You are here to break barriers, to defy expectations, to create something new, something powerful, something that has never been done before. And that will require you to walk alone. That will require you to step away from the safety of the crowd and into the unknown, where there are no guarantees, no assurances, no one holding your hand, and that is where most people fail. The moment they feel resistance, the moment they realize that standing alone is not easy, they run back to the crowd. They give up their dreams because someone laughed at them. They abandon their vision because people criticize them. They silence their own voice because they are afraid of what others might say. But the ones who succeed, the ones who change the world, they are the ones who refuse to back down. They are the ones who understand that rejection is a part of the process, that criticism is a sign they are doing something right. You have to understand this. When you choose to break away from the crowd, people will resist you. They will try to pull you back in, not because they hate you, but because your courage reminds them of their own fears. Your strength exposes their weakness. Your willingness to stand alone forces them to confront the fact that they never had the courage to do the same. And rather than face that truth, they will try to bring you down. They will try to make you doubt yourself. They will tell you that you are wrong, that you will fail, that you should just be like everyone else. But that is where you must be unshakable. That is where you must have the kind of conviction that does not waver in the face of doubt, the kind of determination that does not crumble under pressure. Because the moment you give in, the moment you let the crowd dictate your path, you lose yourself. You become just another person, living just another life, following just another path that leads nowhere. Do not fear being different, fear being the same as everyone else. Fear waking up one day and realizing that you spent your entire life trying to fit in instead of standing out. Because the greatest regret in life is not failing, it is never trying. It is looking back and knowing that you had the chance to do something extraordinary, but you chose comfort over courage. So break away, stand firm, walk alone if you have to. Because the road less traveled is the road that leads to greatness. Everything begins in the mind, your strength, your success, your ability to stand alone. It all starts with how you think. The world will try to convince you that you need external validation to be worthy, that you need others to believe in you before you can believe in yourself. But if you buy into that lie, you will always be at the mercy of the opinions of others. You will always be looking around, waiting for permission to step into your greatness. And that's exactly why most people never rise. They spend their lives seeking approval instead of building unshakable confidence from within. Real power comes when you no longer need the world to tell you who you are. When your belief in yourself is so strong that it doesn't matter if no one else sees your vision. It's real to you, and that's enough. That's the mindset that separates the unstoppable from the average. The ones who achieve greatness are not the ones who had the most support, the most encouragement, or the easiest path. They are the ones who decided, no matter what happens, no matter who doubts them, no matter how many times they get knocked down, they will not stop. They will not break. They will not need anyone else to validate their journey. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Building that kind of mindset is not easy. It takes discipline, it takes work, it takes the ability to control your thoughts, to silence self-doubt, to shut out negativity, and to stay focused when everything around you is trying to pull you off course. And that's where most people fail. They start strong, but the moment they face resistance, the moment they feel alone, they start questioning themselves. They let the voices of others plant seeds of doubt, and before they know it, they've abandoned their dreams, settling for the safety of mediocrity. You cannot allow that to happen to you. You cannot allow weak thoughts to control your destiny. You have to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, stronger than your fears, stronger than any criticism that comes your way. You have to build a foundation so solid that no matter what happens, you keep moving forward. That means waking up every single day and deciding again and again that you will not break. That means holding yourself to a higher standard, refusing to entertain excuses, and shutting out anything that does not align with your purpose. Most people walk through life controlled by their emotions. They feel doubt and they quit. They feel fear and they run. They face rejection and they give up. But you are not like most people. You do not let emotions dictate your actions. You do not let temporary feelings control permanent decisions. You train your mind to stay focused, to stay disciplined, to stay locked in, no matter what. Because the reality is, when you build an unshakable mindset, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for motivation and you start relying on discipline. You stop caring about opinions and you start trusting yourself. You stop fearing failure and you start seeing every setback as fuel to push harder. That is the difference between those who succeed and those who never even try. So make the decision today. No more doubt, no more excuses, no more looking around for someone to validate your journey. You are enough, you are capable, and if you commit to strengthening your mind, to standing firm in your vision, to refusing to break under pressure, there is nothing that can stop you. There will be moments when the silence is deafening, when the weight of solitude feels unbearable. You will look around and realize that no one is standing beside you. The people you thought would support you are nowhere to be found. The ones who once believed in you now doubt you. And in those moments, a voice inside will whisper, maybe they're right. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe I'm not strong enough to do this alone. That voice is the enemy. That voice is the test. And that voice is what separates those who break from those who rise. Loneliness is not a sign that you are lost. It is proof that you are on the right path. Because the higher you climb, the fewer people there are. The stronger you become, the more resistance you will face. The moment you choose to stand alone, you step into a battle that most people are too afraid to fight. But if you can endure, if you can push through the moments of doubt, you will emerge with a strength that no one can take from you. The truth is, most people never reach their full potential because they are afraid of being alone. They are afraid of sitting in silence, afraid of their own thoughts, afraid of the discomfort that comes with isolation. So they stay where it's comfortable. They surround themselves with distractions, with meaningless conversations, with people who make them feel safe but never help them grow. And as a result, they never evolve. They never tap into their true power. But you are different. You are not here to stay comfortable. You are here to become unstoppable. And that means embracing solitude as a tool, not as a punishment. Because in solitude, you grow. In solitude, you sharpen your mind. In solitude, you find clarity, purpose, and direction. There will be days when the doubt creeps in, days when you wonder if you're making the right choice, when you see others taking the easy road, surrounded by friends, laughing, fitting in effortlessly, while you are grinding alone, struggling in silence. But understand this, the path of the masses leads to mediocrity. The path of the few leads to greatness. And every great leader, every world changer, every person who has ever done something extraordinary has had to walk alone at some point. It is in those moments of solitude that you will come face to face with your greatest enemy, your own mind. You will hear the voices of self-doubt, the echoes of past failures, the fears of the unknown. But this is where you must take control. You must silence the doubt with action. You must drown out the fear with focus. You must remind yourself why you started, why you chose this path, and why you will not stop. Because the truth is, you do not need the approval of others. You do not need constant reassurance. You do not need someone to hold your hand and tell you that you are on the right path. You already know. You already have everything you need inside of you. The only question is, will you trust yourself enough to keep going? Most people will never understand the strength it takes to stand alone. They will never know what it feels like to wake up every day and push forward without applause, without validation, without anyone cheering them on. But that is what makes you different. That is what makes you unstoppable. So let them doubt you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them call you crazy for choosing the hard road, because one day they will look back and realize that while they were busy seeking comfort, you were busy building greatness. Rejection is not the end. It is not a sign that you are not good enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. It is a test, a lesson, a redirection. But most people don't see it that way. They take rejection personally. They let it break them. They let it convince them that they are not meant for something greater. They give up before they even get started. But those who understand the power of rejection, those who use it as fuel instead of defeat, those are the ones who rise. Every successful person has faced rejection. Every visionary, every leader, every world changer has been told no more times than they can count. They have been laughed at, doubted, underestimated. They have been turned away, ignored, and overlooked. But what separates them from everyone else is that they did not let rejection define them. They did not let a temporary obstacle turn into a permanent defeat. Instead, they used it as a weapon. They turned every closed door into an opportunity to find a new way forward. They took every failure and transformed it into wisdom, into strength, into resilience. Most people think rejection means they are on the wrong path, but the truth is, rejection is often a sign that you're exactly where you need to be. It is a challenge, a test of how badly you want something. If success came easy, everyone would have it. If doors opened effortlessly, there would be no value in walking through them. Rejection exists to separate those who are truly committed from those who are only interested. It exists to push you harder, to force you to prove to yourself just how strong you are. The problem is, most people don't push back. The first time they hear no, they quit. The first time they are criticized, they shut down. They start doubting themselves. They start believing the voices that tell them they are not enough. But what they fail to realize is that every rejection is a stepping stone. Every setback is an opportunity to grow. Every failure is a lesson that, if used correctly, will make them unstoppable. You have to shift your mindset. You have to start seeing rejection as redirection. If a door closes, it was never meant for you. If an opportunity slips through your fingers, it was not the right one. If someone doubts you, that is not your problem, it is theirs. The only thing that matters is how you respond. Do you let rejection break you, or do you let it build you? Do you let failure define you, or do you use it to become stronger? Most people waste time crying over closed doors instead of kicking open new ones. They sit in self-pity instead of rising in power. But that is not you. You are not here to be defeated by rejection. You are here to use it as fuel. You are here to take every no and turn it into an even bigger yes. You are here to prove that nothing, not failure, not doubt, not the opinions of others can stop you. There will be times when rejection feels personal, times when it stings, when it makes you question everything. But those moments are where your strength is forged. Those moments are where you decide whether you will let rejection destroy you or drive you. The weak will quit. The strong will rise. And in the end, the ones who refuse to give up, the ones who keep going despite the setbacks, despite the failures, despite the no's, they are the ones who win. So embrace rejection. Welcome it. Let it challenge you, let it shape you, and then use it to build something so powerful, so undeniable, that the same people who once doubted you will have no choice but to respect you. There comes a time when you stop asking for permission, a time when you stop waiting for approval, stop looking around to see who's with you, stop hesitating because you're worried about what people might say. There comes a moment when you decide, once and for all, that you will not be stopped. That no force, no opinion, no obstacle will shake you. That you will move forward, not because it's easy, not because you have a guarantee, but because you refuse to live a life of regret. Most people never reach that point. They live their lives cautiously, afraid to step too far out of line, afraid to stand too tall, afraid to shine too bright. They worry about fitting in, about being accepted, about not upsetting anyone. So they shrink themselves. They hold back their ideas, their dreams, their potential. And as a result, they never become what they were truly meant to be. They spend their lives waiting for the right time, waiting for support, waiting until they feel ready. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. No one is coming to give you permission. No one is going to tell you now is your time. You have to decide that for yourself. The people who become unstoppable are the ones who make that decision. They stop hesitating. They stop second-guessing. They stop looking over their shoulders, wondering what others will think. They step into their power fully and completely, without apology, without explanation, without fear. And the moment you do that, the moment you stop waiting and start moving, you become a force that cannot be ignored. It won't be easy. Nothing worthwhile ever is. There will be moments when the weight of the journey feels heavy, when the obstacles seem endless, when doubt tries to creep in. But this is where you prove who you really are. The ones who succeed are not the ones who had the easiest road. They are the ones who refused to quit. The ones who stood firm when everything around them told them to give up. The ones who kept pushing forward, even when they were exhausted, even when they were alone, even when the world told them they were crazy. When you reach that level of commitment, something changes. You no longer need motivation because you are driven by purpose. You no longer fear rejection because you understand it's part of the process. You no longer seek validation because you know exactly who you are and what you're here to do. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop entertaining anything that does not align with your vision. And when you do that, people notice. The same ones who doubted you will start watching. The same ones who dismissed you will start paying attention, because the world respects those who refuse to be broken. The world follows those who have the courage to lead, the strength to endure, the fire to keep going when everyone else has given up. This is what it means to be unstoppable. It is not about talent. It is not about luck. It is about relentless determination. It is about standing alone, standing strong, and standing firm in who you are, no matter what.